Good morning and welcome to the University of Massachusetts Medical School. I'm sure that your time here will be very fulfilling for you. My name is Dr. Michael Nealand, and I am an Associate Dean in the School of Medicine, but I'm here talking to you today as the chair of our campus-wide Clery Committee. In the 1980s, Jean Clery was a college student in Pennsylvania. She was raped and murdered in her dormitory. Now, at the time, there was not a way for prospective students, their families, loved ones, or employees to determine what the campus safety environment was. There was not a way to do that. Crime statistics were not maintained for the public. Her parents, working closely with Congress, rectified that. And we now have the Clery Act that's named after their deceased daughter, the Jean Clery Act. And it requires institutions of higher learning to fulfill a number of requirements, and of course the medical school is an institution of higher learning. One of the requirements of the Clery Act is that annually, prior to October 1st of the calendar year, we distribute to everyone on campus, students, faculty, staff, the annual security report. That's located on the UMass intranet side, if you go on that. And on the left-hand side where the icons are, you'll see that there's one that says Clery Act. But beyond that, we distribute that to emails to everyone on campus. The annual security report has lots of safety-related information, broken down into sections. Of course, there's an introduction from our police chief, John Leupold. There's a section on timely warnings, emergency response, and evacuation. That's, in other words, what would happen if it came to our attention, the police attention, that there was an active shooter on campus. How is it that we notify everyone? And that's listed in that section. A campus facility, safety, security, statements on security, awareness, and crime prevention programs. We have programs for how to prevent rapes and how to physically protect yourself, which the police department does for women. We have sexual assault prevention and response section. There's a section on crime statistics. Now, Clery does not require us to list every single type of crime, every misdemeanor that is, that occurs on campus. They do tell us which crimes we need to report in the annual security report. And those are the crimes that, at least from my civilian point of view, would be the ones we would be most interested in. What you'll see are 3 years' worth of crimes. However, it's always a lag of 1 year. So the report that we just issued for October 1st would not have 2017, which is the year that I'm speaking to you. It would be through 2016. If you look through these crime statistics, you'll see that we are a very safe campus. Now, because the hospital, the medical center, is on our campus grounds, we're also required to report the Clery-related crimes that may occur in the hospital. So, and on occasion, there are, and they are listed too. So there's lots of valuable information in the annual security report. By the way, everyone, by law, must report suspected child abuse. Child abuse suspected, we must report to the jurisdictional police department. And a child is defined by law as a person who is under 18 years old. Moving on to a related topic, the Violence Against Women Act, sometimes just called VAWA. President Obama signed the Violence Against Women Act into law in 2013. And when he did so, when he signed that document, it required institutions to report certain crimes that previously were not required under the Clery Act. And they are dating violence, domestic violence, and stalking. Now, the annual security report has a very detailed legal definition of these three crimes. Now, I don't have them memorized, so I need to read a little bit for a summary. So, dating violence. Violence committed by someone who is in a social, romantic, or intimate relationship with the victim. In this definition, violence includes, but is not limited to, sexual or physical abuse or the threat of such abuse. Domestic violence. Violence committed by a current or former spouse or an intimate partner of the victim, or by someone who shares a child with the victim. It also includes a person who is cohabitating or has cohabitated with the victim as a spouse or intimate partner. Stalking. More than one act directed at a specific person that places that person in reasonable fear for his or her safety or the safety of others, and causes the victim to suffer substantial emotional distress. This conduct includes, but is not limited to, following, monitoring, observing, surveilling, threatening, or communicating to a person, or interfering with a person's property. Now, VIWA also discusses the potential role of a so-called active bystander. That is someone who is not directly involved in a potential crime, but has the choice to intervene, speak up, or do something about it. Of course, if any one of us was in immediate danger, we would call 911. Please always have your cell phone charged. And when we do so, we would always be prepared to give our location and what the situation is. Now, following are some tips that bystanders should consider to prevent potential crimes. And I'll list three. Confront individuals who seclude, try to kiss, or take sexual advantage of someone who is incapacitated to make decisions, such as a person under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or perhaps has a developmental delay. 2, speak up, say something when someone discusses plans to take sexual advantage of another person. And finally, believe someone who discloses sexual assault, abusive behavior, or stalking experience. Believe when those words are mentioned. That concludes my discussion of the Clery Act and the Violence Against Women Act, and I wish you a very happy career at UMass Medical School.